In this video we're going to be looking at creating a cabin to go in our forest. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a cube, because we're going to build our cabin from the cube. So on the left hand panel we have the create tab and we have add primitive mesh cube. So here is our cabin. It doesn't look very cabin like at the moment, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag it around and pull it up a little bit so we can start to edit it here. As you can see, again, not very cabin-like. What we need to do if we're going to build this into cabin is we need to have a pointed roof, and we need to probably turn it brown. So how do I make a pointed roof? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch modes. I'm going to switch to a mode to actually allow me to start editing these cubes. Not just resizing them, or recoloring them, or rotating them, but actually editing the shape of this cube. And when we can start to edit the shape of a cube, we can start to build pretty much anything. So, down here we have object mode. Object mode allows us to do what we've been doing so far, which is moving things around the screen. If I select object mode, I go to edit mode. This allows me to now edit this cube. So you can see how the colours changed. When it's highlighted in orange, that means it's selected. So, if I right click on it, you can see I select different parts of it. And I have three different ways that I can select it. I can select on the left hand side. This one here is just a little dot, which we're going to be selecting the corners. Or I can select the edges or the sides. Or I can select a face. So if I select a corner, I can drag the corner around. Hit escape to quit that. If I select an edge, like that, I can drag an entire side out. Hit escape to exit that. But what I'm going to be using is I'm going to be using face select. So I click on face select now, and this allows me to drag the faces out like so. So I could make it a bit wider, for example. But I don't want to do that. What I want to do is I want to extrude. This may sound like a strange word, but all it means is to extend the cube. So I select the side, making sure I've got it selected down here. I select this side here and I want to make another cube on the side of this. So I press the E key to extrude, and it allows me to pull another cube out the side, like that. So now I have two cubes next to each other, but part of the same object. If I go back to my selection tools down here, I'm going to select one of the edges. So if I click on this one here, I can select this edge in the center with the right mouse button. And by using the blue arrow, I can pull it up, and there I have something resembling, hopefully I think you can see it resembles a log cabin. The last thing I need to do with this is I need to go back into object mode, and this will allow me to recolor this. And as hopefully you can remember, is we're going to use over here a material, and we're going to maybe make it the same color as the trunks. So I'm going to put it to material 1 there. And now it turns nice and brown like a log cabin. And if I move it around, I can put my log cabin nestled in the forest like that. Maybe I want to make it slightly smaller, so I'll go down here to make it slightly smaller, shrink it down there, shrink it down there, and finally let's just position it there in the forest. And F12 to preview what this looks like. That's not bad. We have a log cabin in the forest. You may want to move it down slightly because it's slightly floating, but there we go.